Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Village of Carpentersville, regular board meeting, February 3rd, 2026 at 6 p.m. Karen, call.
Trustee Abbott?
Here.
Trustee Frost?
Present.
Trustee Garcia?
Here.
Trustee Gupta is absent. Trustee Malone?
Here.
Trustee Maniscalco? Here. President Skillman?
Here, please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you.
Who was
There's stuff underneath.
Oh,
Yeah.
my check? Oh,
Just the arm, right?
okay.
Okay, proclamation tonight. We have Black History Month proclamation. Village of Carpentersville Black History Month proclamation, February 2026. Whereas if February marks the annual observance of Black History Month, a time to honor the achievements, resilience, and contributions of the African American throughout the nation. Whereas the 2026 theme, A Century of Black History, recognizes the 100-year legacy for formally celebrating Black history since Dr. Carter Woodson's establishment of Negro History Week in 1926, which grew into the month-long observance we know today. And whereas the centennial milestone invites us to reflect on the progress made, acknowledged, and the struggles endured, and recommitment ourselves to advancing equity, justice, and opportunity for all. And whereas the stories, culture, and innovations of Black Americans have enriched every aspect of our society, from science, education, and the arts to business, public service, and social change. And whereas it is essential to preserve and share these histories in our schools, communities, and institutions so that future generations may learn from and be inspired by them. Now, therefore, I, John Skillman, Village President, do hereby proclaim February 2026 is Black History Month in Carpentersville, Illinois, and encourage all residents to participate in the events, the programs, and conversations that honor the past, celebrate the present, and shape more inclusive future. Thank you. Okay. All right, we have public comment is next.
Mr. Caius?
Chris, Mr. Caius.
Thank you, Mr. President. And trustees, thanks for letting me give you a little update on what's happening with the county. I've got a few items. Of course, March 17th is a primary election day. The county conducts the elections, so that's part of our purview. County Clerk Jack Cunningham. Early voting, excuse me, starts early, February 5th. So it's just right around the corner, Thursday, I believe. And that's also the day that the mail-in ballots go out. So look for those in your in the mail, and also inform people that they will be coming. The voters can cast their ballots at the Kane County Clerk's office in Geneva and Aurora at that time. It won't be until March 2nd, though, that we have the fire station number 93 opens up for local elections, along with West Dundee Town Hall on March 2nd. And of course, the clerk publishes a handy dandy little table. You can go to canevotes.com and print out all of the early voting sites and where they're at, and the dates that they'll be available and times. So if you'd like to, and they have also a larger version of that you can actually read, posted in a lot of places. That's pretty small when you print it out on 8.5 by 11. But so voting's coming. It'll be here day after tomorrow. And there's actually an important update in that the U.S. Postal Service has changed the postmark procedures so that the postmarks now reflect the date the mail is processed, which would be down in Carroll Stream, as I understand it, as opposed to when it's dropped off at the local post office. So if you're voting by mail, you want to make sure you get it in. Or actually, if you're sending in your IRS forms and everything else, it's the last day, you want to make sure that you do that. Or I understand it's possible to have them hand stamped at the post office, but you should check before you wait and find that out for sure. Just remember to send them in early. Kane County now has in Kane County, qualifying residents are eligible for rebates on energy from Nicor and ComEd. Details in the savings are for the savings if you qualify are at the Kane County Connects newsletter that we send out monthly. A big announcement is the 2026 the Grand Victoria Riverboat Fund applications are now open. Kane County is redistributing funds from the profits at the riverboat in Elgin to community-focused projects through the Grand Victoria Riverboat Fund. Funds initiative to improve quality of life and focus on education, environment, and economic development. So the 3 E's. Eligible applicants are typically nonprofits. But the deadline is Wednesday, March 4th, 2026, to get that in. And for more information, of course, you can go to our website. We have a big shredding event on February 28th down in St. Charles on Randall Road. But I want to remind everybody that we actually have a recycling location right here in West Dundee, just across the river, out at the Public Works office at 900 Angle Tarn. Sometimes what people forget, you can recycle cardboard and other things, electronic equipment right there as well. And of course, we have the rabies control, low-cost rabies and microchips are available as well. And that's my update, unless you have questions.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks for your time.
We got a riverboat grant years ago for our safety trailer for the fire department. I don't know if we've ever gotten anything or recently.
Yeah, we've looked into that even as recently. Mr. Kais and I spoke last year about the possibility of that going towards the Fox River crossing with the utility lines. Unfortunately, that was not viable by
Yeah.
their parameters at that time. So we're continuing to look though.
Fortunately, the amount's gotten less and less per year too from the province.
Mhm.
Applications have actually gone up.
Yeah. All right, thank you. All right, next item on the agenda. Consent agenda. All items listed on the consent agenda will be acted by one motion. There'll be no separate discussion on these items unless the trustee so requests.
I'd like to move item G to new business.
Okay, let me get back to there. In the event the item will be removed to general order of business and removed in the normal sequence, considered in its normal sequence on the agenda, which will be on new business. Thank you. On letter G. Okay, I'm looking for a motion.
Motion to approve tonight's agenda, item A through J minus G.
I'll second.
Motion by trustee Garcia, second by trustee Abbott. Roll call, please.
Trustee Frost,
Yes.
trustee Garcia,
Yes.
trustee Malone,
Yes.
trustee Maniscalco.
Yes.
Trustee Abbott,
Yes.
President Skillman.
Yes, thank you. Motion carries. Okay. We'll go right into old business. Old business. New business, we have a few items now. On here. Letter A, approval of resolution approving the appropriation of motor fuel tax funds for the purpose of maintaining village streets throughout the purchase of road salt for snow and ice control. Electric usage for street lighting, contractual services for roadway resurfacing, and select village sidewalk cutting. And engineering services in the amount of $1,329,476.92.
President Skillman, Director Gray is prepared to give a short just summary of both items A and B.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. So the first item is for fiscal year 25. Every year, we're supposed to do a resolution for maintenance through IDOT that authorizes the use of MFT funds for those specific items, basically the electricity for streetlights, road salt, our resurfacing programs for construction and engineering services, as well as sidewalk maintenance. So in 2025, we did a sidewalk maintenance program for sidewalk cutting. And in 2026, you'll see that there's a lot more money budgeted for that. And that's because we are doing a removal and replacement program and not the sidewalk cutting in fiscal year 26.
Okay, thank you. Any questions?
Yes, does this include those handicap ramps that
Yep.
we'll be installing? Okay.
Yep.
I've got one question, President Skillman. The sidewalk cutting, this stuff falls under the responsible bidder ordinance,
Correct.
everything that's listed here, including the sidewalk maintenance.
Correct. Unless it's the less than $100,000, which I think the sidewalk cutting is typically only $25,000.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, do you want to couple these two together, A and B?
We certainly can if a trustee would want to just make a combined motion to approve items A and B, if that's the intention, we could do that.
Yes, you can.
Thank you. Look for motion.
I'll make a motion to approve items A and B under new business.
Okay,
I'll second.
motion by trustee Maniscalco, second by trustee Malone. Under new business, items A and B. Roll call, please.
Trustee Garcia,
Yes.
trustee Malone,
Yes.
trustee Maniscalco.
Yes.
Trustee Abbott,
Yes.
trustee Frost,
Yes.
President Skillman.
Yes, thank you. Motion carries. Letter C, approval of resolution awarding the contract for the construction of the Riverfront Park West Site civil improvement to Copenhagen Construction Incorporated in the amount of $2,003,050,542.70. And hi, go ahead.
Good evening, Mayor and board members. I'm excited to present this resolution, which would award a construction contract so that we can begin with the Riverfront Park Western improvements. As you may recall, in an effort to keep this project moving, the village board approved a resolution 25-93, which waived the competitive bidding process so that staff could negotiate with a preferred contractor in order to bring the project cost more in alignment with the approved budget. As part of this approval, it was understood that this approach would likely result in multiple contractors, would bifurcate the building improvements from the site civil improvements, and could extend the timeline beyond the approved May 2026 completion date. However, by bifurcating the two bid packages, the civil from the building, this would allow us to construct the park first so that the community could have a functioning park while we continue with our efforts to work on determining an approach or an avenue for the construction and implementation of the buildings. Over the last several months, we met with several developers, including Copenhagen Construction, Inc., who was one of the two apparent low bidders during the last letting cycle. Copenhagen has experience doing these type of public projects. They have worked with the village in the past. They can complete the civil site improvements within the construction completion date that I had mentioned previously. And they comply with the prevailing wage and the apprenticeship program that's outlined within our village code. In addition, Copenhagen, was willing to work with the staff on a extended or modified scope of services. This was in order to incorporate some of the overlap items that were under the bid package for the building part of the project, and included all of the on-site lighting services, fixtures, the river overlook piers and decorative fencing, and the archway feature. The village approved a construction budget of $4 million via the capital improvement program. The original bid that Copenhagen presented to the village was a little bit over $2.4 million. However, in an effort to find some cost savings, staff is recommending that we use stamped concrete instead of the decorative pavers and tiles. That would reduce the award contract to a little bit over $2.3 million and would result in a savings of $106,688. The village board may also want to consider using standard concrete in lieu of the stamped pavers or stamped concrete, which would further reduce the price by approximately $80,000. Under either scenario, the contract award would still be under the approved budget. The staff would recommend that we move forward with the stamped concrete and that you award a construction contract to Copenhagen Construction in the amount of $2,350, 542.70.
Okay, thank you. Anybody have any comments?
Yeah, Mr. President. The stamped concrete compared to what was proposed, how much does the statics change, the appearance?
The stamped concrete is very flexible in terms of coming up with a design that looks very similar and comparable to the pavers. So, it's a matter of preference. We feel that we're achieving not only a cost savings as well as a design that we wanted originally by using the stamped concrete versus the pavers.
But it's not gonna crack, right? And
The
once that
durability
pavers-
is very sound and strong with stamped concrete. It's basically a one piece of concrete that's poured and then it's stamped with a pattern. Whereas the pavers are individual tiles that have to be laid down. And typically when you have those tiles over several years, you have to pick them up, stamp down the sub base so that you get a level surface and then reinstall it. So there's a little bit more work to the tiles and the pavers than there would be with the stamped concrete.
My question is due to durability.
There's
I've
really
seen those stamped concrete slabs that they crack.
certainly, and certainly the cracks can be filled. Pavers can crack as well. So it's again, from a durability standpoint, there's a lot of similarities between the two products. It's
Mhm.
just a matter of preference. What would you prefer, a paver versus a stamped concrete?
Could I ask Director Gray if you had any further input on that particular item?
Brick paver, they are a lot more cost. You have to set up, you have to reseal pretty much about every year. Whereas stamped concrete, you don't have to do that. But not to mention the salt, obviously this is gonna be a part of the salt or the people gathering there. The salt, they just don't make brick pavers like they make them a long time ago, like the pavers that we have in Old Town, Old Lake brick. Stand up salt great, whereas these new pavers, they just rock from the bottom to the top. So it's the stamp concrete will add.
One more question. Have we used those stamped concrete in town? Is there any way I can see them? Because I see outside here how the pavers deteriorate and start to look iffy.
Oh, but plenty of residents do.
Yeah.
Okay.
Businesses have.
I
Patios,
was stamped concrete
driveways.
into my backyard and I've never had a problem for the last 10 years, so.
Okay. Thank you, guys.
President Skillman.
Yes.
Safety purposes, is there a difference between stamped and regular, especially in the winter? And as far as cleanup with the snow?
Yeah,
It's usually textured.
I guess it depends on what stamp form board you're using.
Yeah.
Real thick one, and then get like quarter inch through, so that's something that we look at if you want it a little bit like concrete. But it all up, down.
Yeah. Right. One other thing, I've had some experience with a little bit of concrete and all concrete cracks. It doesn't matter, stamped, not stamped. After time, it takes a beating. So
Mhm.
I've had experience with them. It happens. That's why.
All concrete crack.
Yep.
So,
Yep. Very good. Thank you.
You bet. Thanks. Okay.
Oh, I had one more thing. As far as extras go during this process of construction with said contractor, the board has a vote on if there's any extras that do come up or when they come up. As far as anything that comes up over and above the 2.3 or $2.4 million, I want to make sure that the board has a vote on whether we move forward with their extras because I'm not going to go any farther than that.
So I'll address that if I may, Trustee Frost. The the answer is yes with the revised scope of work. The expectation, as it would be with any competitively, well, in this case, awarded bid based on specifications which we provided, and we did revise this from the original scope as Director Dabrowski had mentioned. The contractor is expected to come in at that price, barring some exigent circumstance. If there was anything that would be a significant adjustment in price, actually, frankly, higher or lower, that would require a change order and require representment to the village board.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, new business letter C. I'm looking for a motion.
I make a motion for, oh,
Go ahead, sir.
I'll make a motion for letter C in new business.
I'll second.
Motion by trustee Frost, second by trustee Garcia. Roll call, please.
Trustee Malone,
Yes.
trustee Maniscalco,
Yes.
trustee Abbott,
Yes.
trustee Frost,
Yes.
trustee Garcia,
Yes.
President Skillman.
Yes, motion carries. Thank you. Letter G we moved down to new business. So we have a discussion on that.
Yes, I have some questions. I did read the contract for Buck Cherry. And there's a couple concerns I have. First off, I know we're looking at starting it at 9 p.m. What I would like to propose is that we start at 8 p.m. We've gotten feedback before, after Fall Fest of the neighbors in the area that going to 11 is, especially on a Friday night, because many of them work on Saturday. So we've gotten some feedback that, it goes too late for them. So I would think if we could start at 8, the Special Events Commission had talked about that when we were doing a debrief on Fall Fest, that we were going to look to do it the last band earlier. So I'd like us to consider that. Also, there's some items in this contract. Has the contract been signed yet?
No.
No, and to be perfectly clear, this isn't actually the contract. This is just a rider of what are their standard requirements, which even in themselves are in a preliminary phase. We've been actively trying to get the contract so that could potentially be presented for the village board. The reason we're approaching it this way is just that waiting another 2 weeks, we may not be able to proceed with booking the band.
I got it.
Yep.
Well, I mean, some of the things that they're asking on their rider, a dressing room with running water and shower, we can't provide that.
Correct.
Not be able to provide.
There's a list of items. We've already had preliminary discussions with their booking agent. That's one of them. The expectation is they're going to be in a tour bus, that will have the basic amenities that they need in terms of running water, that sort of thing. Although specifically, the plan would be that following the event, they would actually have access to either our public works facility or our main fire station for the purpose of showering. But the expectation right now, and I understand that Ryder has a lot under the sun there, which we have not agreed to anything at this point. We also understand that a lot of what are called the backline requirements may not even be necessary by nature of the fact that they're bringing their own bus with presumably their own equipment, if that answers the question.
Yes, because we normally will provide the RV that's got like a dressing room capability, but doesn't have running water in it. So that was a concern. Also, in the contract, it talks about putting them in a hotel. Are we going to put them in a hotel?
So again, the rider, which would ultimately be negotiated terms that become part of an actual contract, that's really just think of it as almost like boilerplate terms you get if you bought a cell phone or a dishwasher. But we are still actively identifying what they actually need to make sure that we're not entering a contract that puts us at risk of some unforeseen financial exposure. For the hotel, what has been communicated to us at this point is that the band itself, because they are in their tour bus, does not require lodging. The driver of the tour bus would require lodging. So as far as we know, it would only be the driver of the bus that we would be putting up in a hotel.
Possible.
And the other bands we're looking at, just for reference, at this point, appear to be local in nature. So we're not anticipating any sort of extraordinary expenses like that. Although there are some food requirements, refreshment requirements that we would intend to honor, which would be more consistent with what would be expected.
Mhm. And then just the last item that I'm concerned about is that they talked about payable in cash.
Mhm.
Do we do cash, a cash transaction in
I
that amount?
I think that's a term of art in that context, Trustee Maniscalco. We would not be handing over cash.
Okay.
It would be their requirement would be basically a 50% down payment for the security. That would most likely go in the form of a check. If they needed certified funds, we do that in the form of a cashier's check. We could potentially even look at a wire transfer. And then the remaining funds would typically be due and payable. Again, we don't have the full contract terms at this point. I promise you that it's something we're very aware of in terms of making sure we don't end up in a situation where we can't back what we understood it to be and within the budget for the entire event, because it's important. It's an important event and it's a big investment for the community.
I mean, it said checks will not be accepted unless approved.
Right.
So-
Again, it's a rider to the contract, which is just very general terms they gave us on a first pass. We have several communications in with the booking agent to try to iron out and define what the final terms as needed. Again, a great many of the terms in that rider we've already identified through preliminary discussions. Are not even going to be necessary from everything we understand. But I do give you every assurance. Your concerns are recognized. We share them, and we're going to be very vigilant before obviously a final contract is entered.
Okay, great. That's all I have.
Okay, anybody else? Sure.
Could I address the one thing Trustee Maniscalco had said in the beginning, which was the 8 o'clock start time?
Yeah.
We have, yeah, go ahead.
I was just going to say, the way we're currently looking at the scheduling for Friday was music beginning at 5 o'clock, running to about 10:30, assuming that Buck Cherry would run a 90-minute show. And then on Saturday, music beginning at about 2 p.m., running to about 9:30, assuming that who would be the Ides of March and Jim Peterick would be the final act, going about 90 minutes that night. If the board wanted to nudge up the time on Friday night, we could do that. It would just mean that our initial opening act would probably start around 4 o'clock to make room for the 6 o'clock, to make room for Buck Cherry at 8 o'clock.
I'm just concerned for the residents that are around there on a Friday night after a long day of work.
Have to keep in mind we're booking a international act, and I think deviating from the schedule, I don't think that's a good idea myself. I think we, keep them on. You never know what could happen.
But we're not starting until 5 p.m.,
But I know that's what I mean.
right? At the park?
On
Friday.
Friday.
Friday,
No, 5.
Friday right now, no music would start before 5 o'clock. We would probably open the park for the festival about 4 o'clock.
Okay.
That's the current plan.
President Skillman?
Yes.
As far as the residents, a lot of those residents down there, including my family that grew up on Livingston down the street, were there for Rambo days or Jamboree days. I mean, So they're well aware of what happens at these festivals, and my daughter lives a block and a half away, and there's been times where you can't hear the music. So I'm not concerned about the residents as far as mute the loud music goes. Safety, yes.
Of course, yeah.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. All right, looking for a motion on letter G.
I'll motion to approve letter G.
I'll second.
Motion by trustee Garcia, second by trustee Abbott. Roll call, please.
Trustee Maniscalco?
Yes.
Trustee Abbott?
Yes.
Trustee Frost?
Yes.
Trustee Garcia?
Yes.
Trustee Malone?
Yes.
President Skillman?
Yes, thank you. Motion carries. Manager Stewart.
All right. I'm going to actually initially defer to Assistant Manager Mason and Finance Director Mason to just give a summary of what is the annual budget book, which is at each of your stations on the dais. Just the one thing as he's stepping up here, I do really want to emphasize with the board, and you could see this, for example, if you were to turn to pages 35 and 36. We're not just looking at this as a budgetary document, but every department had given thoughtful input as to what the goals of not only each individual department in the village, but the village as a whole intend to achieve in the 2026 calendar and fiscal year. So the ones on 35 and 36, you can see would look back to the 25 accomplishments and the 26 goals. That would be for the administration, which would be broader in scope. But if you went through each department that comes thereafter, you would see the same thing. There are actual measurable goals for each department, and that's going to be our guiding light along with the budget itself. So with that, I'll turn it over to Assistant Manager Mason.
Well, thank you, Manager Stewart. Good evening, President Skillman, Board of Trustees. So this is the annual budget book that the Finance Department produces. We have posted this online as of today as well. And we will be submitting this for the annual Distinguished Budget Award through the GFOA professional organization for municipal and local government finance organizations. So I just want to kind of walk through a couple of the kind of notable or main areas of this book that could be a resource. From time to time, I know we'll be distributing copies to department heads later this week as well. But I just wanted to call out a couple of areas. One will be kind of following up from Manager Stewart's reference to some of the goals and objectives that each department has provided and has been incorporated into their department narratives. But first, I just wanted to reference page 27 actually is a graphic that I think I might have referred to as well when we were having the audit and finance meetings in the fall, in terms of that this gives kind of a good snapshot of where we're at in terms of each of the operating, but also our capital funds from the standpoint of fund balance and reserves. So you can see the third column from the left, projected ending fund balance for 2025, is essentially where the general fund, which is the largest operating fund at the top, was projected to finish last fiscal year at. And then as you follow the columns to the right, where we're anticipating based on revenues and expenditures this year, where we would end this year in terms of reserves and fund balance. So just want to draw your attention all the way to the bottom of that page under totals. And there's two totals you'll see. The very bottom row, totals with fiduciary funds, that's inclusive of the pension funds, which are certainly significant to make note of and reference, but they are somewhat out of the village's control in terms of that fund. And certainly we help manage it and just kind of house it within our village budget and within our fund accounting. but we don't actively, as the village, manage the investments of those. And, you know, a lot of that is subject to the market conditions. So if there's a favorable economic climate and interest rates are favorable for investments, we'll see those balances in the police and fire pension funds significantly increase. But it's something certainly as the village, we don't have any input or control over. And we had noted actually during the audit and finance meetings that 2025 was very favorable, actually, in terms of the investment income for both of those pension funds. But the totals, the second to bottom row would be the one that I just would want to highlight. You can see the far left column where our fund balance was at the end of 2024 across all of the operating and capital funds, which was just over 61 million. We're projected to finish 2025 at just around 55 million. And then as you go all the way to the right, this is consistent with what we had discussed when we were putting this budget together last fall, was that at least for this year, we are further going to be drawing down some of the reserves in several of the funds. So you can see that in action here, basically in this graphic, that we would be projected to finish the end of this year, 26, all the way at the far right side at 32.5 million. So, and this will be something that certainly we'll have more discussions and presentations on throughout the year, especially with the Audit and Finance Committee, because this approach of drawing down the reserves, we will be moving away from as we go into budget season later this year and into 27. So this is kind of just to kind of set the stage, kind of like the final arc of this strategy of utilizing existing reserves. Will be kind of winding down, and then we'll be, you know, identifying other means for funding some of the key, you know, projects and just standard operating costs that we'll have moving forward. Any questions on that, or just wanted to? Okay. And then just real briefly, on page 39, I just thought I'd use the finance department as an example. Similar to what Manager Stewart was explaining about some of the goals and objectives, each department was asked to come up with at least 3 performance measures to help show progress towards some meaningful objective. Within the finance department, one of our measurable objectives is we're striving each year to receive all 3 of the professional association awards for our budget presentation, our annual audit and financial statements, as well as the popular annual financial statements, which is the condensed version that we do. So you can see in fiscal years 23 and 24, we received all 3 of the awards. In 25, we received the budget award. We are still waiting to hear back if we have received the award for the ACFR is the financial audit report, and then the PAFR is the popular version of that, the condensed version. So we're still awaiting notification actually on those. The second indicator to show that we're meeting what our goals and objectives are is maintaining a minimum fund balance across some of our major funds. And then the third one is something new we've added this year, is to increase the percent of residents in the village or customers that are paying their water bills online. So this is something we're going to be rolling out a new online portal for water bill payments, and it will create certain efficiencies in terms of taking those payments, having customers' credit accounts credited in real time. So you can see 2024, we're just under 10% of the village. We're on auto pay, basically, or just automatic withdrawal of their water bill payments each month. It went up to 10.5% last year, but I can't put a number on it just yet, but we definitely want to see that grow exponentially in the next couple of years, and ideally, reach, for example, like 1/3 of the community in the next couple of years. So that's one of the goals that we have in finance. And then last thing I just want to point out is as it relates to the village's overall debt. So page 115, 116, 117, just there's any, questions that would come up about, where does the village stand with regard to our debt obligations for bonds that we have issued the last 10 to 20 years. This page 116 to 119 shows we have 4 outstanding debt obligations. If you look specifically on 117 and 118, the 2015 GO or general obligation bond series on page 117, this is actually our final year of making those payments. And this is something that I know we talked a little bit about during the budget process in the fall, but that we're also looking at closely this year is, with some of the debt that will be coming off the book, so to speak, are there other, large scale public projects that, we might be able to then consider bond financing again for in the future. So one of the more recent examples was for construction on the Public Works building 10 or 15 years ago. And then page 118 shows we have another of the 4 bond series is going to be final payments being made in 2028. So you can just kind of see, and each one details what is the annual principal and interest. But that's certainly an important area that we'll be looking into the finance department with the village manager's office over the next, several months this year. So just wanted to highlight that too. Any questions or?
Any questions?
No, sir. President Skillman, on page 119, that one goes till when?
This one, 2030.
Okay. Oh, I
Is
see.
the last
Okay.
payment.
Yep.
Yes.
Gotcha.
Mhm.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ben.
Yeah, thanks.
Thank you, Ben.
So just Director Mason, are we a AA minus rating for our bond rating?
We're getting there. Yeah.
At what page? Okay.
And standard for AA three by groups. And those were the last time that we've issued bond financing. That's why
If we pay these off, we should.
a doubling minus.
Yes, the last debt service we have overall that generally is favorable for the bond rating. But mhm.
Our goal is to, yeah.
And what, President Skillman, what's the highest? And what's the lowest?
But I know we are in the top third for the standard and poor, so that doubling minus, I would say we're probably at the bottom of the top third.
Fantastic. Thank you. Thank you. That's good enough for me.
But we're always striving to move up. And we pay these off, we could move up, possibly.
Yes.
So,
And I'm sorry.
no, good. Go ahead.
Oh, I just had a few other updates for the board this evening. One kind of exciting note, this Thursday, February 5th at 11 a.m. is the procession for the Dundee Crown High School cheer team who is going to the state finals. If anyone wants to come out to cheer them on, the route will go from the high school to Perry Elementary School. Monday, February 23rd at 6 p.m. is the Audit and Finance Committee meeting, which will be in the training room at Public Works as usual. There will be a presentation by Arcadis, who is the consultant we use to assess our water meters village-wide and present its findings as to kind of the longevity and replacement options for our existing water meters. Thursday, March 5th at 5:30 is the Police and Fire Department's annual award dinner, which is at the Bricks. At your stations is a flyer which does have the QR code. If anybody wishes to RSVP that way, or if you just want to ask me to do it, I'm happy to do it for you as well. Our firefighters union, the other sheet that's up on the dais, is doing its annual fundraiser for the Fire Buddies program. and they are selling T-shirts that can be ordered until February 22nd through the QR code that appears on that flyer. Jamboree Days is lining up very nicely. At this point, we have the main act scheduled for Friday night. Saturday will include Sparks Fly. For those that didn't know, this is a Taylor Swift experience, likely beginning at 2 o'clock after the talent show. So that's a Taylor Swift cover band, which might draw a large crowd of Swifties. So don't say I didn't warn you. That evening will feature Nobody Come On.
got it, I
That
got it.
evening will feature Chicago legends, the Buckinghams, at 6 o'clock, with the finale being the Ides of March featuring Jim Peterick, songwriter behind the mega hits Vehicle, Survivor's Eye of the Tiger, High on You, which I understand is Trustee Garcia's favorite song, 38 Specials, Hold On Loosely, and Caught Up in You, and so many more. We have a lot of work to do still. And we have every intention of being able to honor the budget for the event. The lineup is very exciting, and thanks in advance. I know a lot of this is going to shift on to our Special Events Advisory Committee as well. Development projects, Village Hall, staff plans to move forward with the engagement contract to begin the design phase of the project at the February 17th board meeting. The selected contractor plans to be present. The Randall Road expansion of the right turn out lane by the Prairie Meadows Shopping Center is to begin construction the week of February 16th. President Skillman tells me it's going to be in the 40s next week, and maybe there's a chance they even get a head start on that. But it should be completed some point early mid-March, at least 2 months before the grand opening of the Seven Brews. And we were also approved, great news, for the Community Development Block Grant, which would reimburse 50% of our construction costs to repave sections of Amarillo Drive. This was budgeted in our capital contingency account for 2026. We weren't sure exactly when we might receive the funds, but the fact we got it, that means we're only responsible for about $415,000 that we would ultimately pay, and we're optimistic that the project can be completed in the spring. So finally, each elected official will receive, if you have not already, a letter from our auditing firm, Sikich, requesting that a questionnaire be completed and returned to Sikich. It is technically optional. It is not a mandatory thing to do, but we would certainly encourage everyone to do so. And if you have any questions, please contact Assistant Manager Mason. That is my report. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, trustee reports and committee reports. Trustee Maniscalco.
I don't have anything.
You good?
Yeah.
Trustee Frost.
Other than Black History Month, it's also American Heart Month too. And let me see if I can find my little blurb here.
Go ahead.
Just read a little bit of it. February is American Heart Month, a national campaign dedicated to raising awareness about cardiovascular health and preventing heart disease, the leading cause of death in the United States. Throughout the month, individuals are encouraged to adopt heart healthy habits such as eating nutritional foods, exercising, and managing blood pressure. I just wanted to add that if you know of anybody that has heart issues, check up on them and have a good rest of your week.
Thank you. Trustee Garcia.
Yes, I'm just, like Manager Stewart said, I'm excited with the lineup for festivals we're having, they're coming over. I can't wait. I told our special events coordinator today, can we do it any faster? Because I don't know if I'm gonna make it all the way to August, so. With that said, thank you, everybody getting involved in this. And I'm looking forward for a great bunch of summer events.
Thank you. Trustee Malone.
No report for me tonight.
Trustee Abbott.
Sure. I'm excited about the Riverfront Park getting going. All you guys are doing amazing jobs, really. The budget and everything too, Mason. And I'm really excited about Jamboree Days. We finally got that big event back to where I think it should be. And other than that, I think I'm good. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, so audit and finance is when again?
It is going to be on
More than the
the
23rd.
23rd, February 20th, 6 p.m.
That was on our list, right? That you sent out? Ben,
Meeting dates, yes. Yeah.
well, just send it out again, please. We have it for a calendar invite in our calendars. Please, thank you, because so we all should try to be there if possible, everyone on the board, please. And with that being said, I'm looking for a motion to adjourn.
I'll motion to adjourn.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Meeting adjourned. Thank you.